Good morning, everyone. This is Jen Stone. We're going to begin in a couple of minutes, so hang tight. And I just want to make sure everybody can hear me well. Happy Thursday. Hi, Stephanie. Let me see. I can't hear you. Your volume is turned off, I think. Hi, everybody. We are live on Facebook as well. And as we get set up here, hi, Stephanie, how are you? Happy Thursday. I think your volume, let me see. Let me just.
Hi.
Oh, there we go. Hi. Yes.
Happy Friday. My goodness.
Oh
It's
my
so
God,
good
I
to
keep
see
saying
you.
it
Thank you for
Thursday.
having me. Oh, did you just say Thursday?
Yeah, I totally did.
I totally even missed that.
You look beautiful. For those that are tuning in, Stephanie is getting ready to be married. And so you've got the bride glow going on here. Thank
you.
Yes. Thank you so much for helping me relaunch the BaZi Gratitude Series. For those that are tuning in for the first time, I launched this series at I would say the beginning of COVID because I wanted to share a platform to keep us all in gratitude, but also to feature some really amazing women in our community that are doing their thing to make a difference in the world and perhaps learn a few new things along the way. And I met Stephanie at the beginning of this year. We are a part of the No Women group, and we never got to meet each other in person. We were just all doing the Zoom thing. And then when Arizona finally opened up, I met her in person, and I just love your energy. I love your experience, and I love your generosity in terms of just your sharing your wisdom and helping small business owners, including myself, elevate our businesses during a time of crazy pandemic. And so today's series, before I dive into that, I just want to introduce Stephanie really quick. Stephanie has more than a decade of digital marketing experience and has worked with brands across many industries, including e-commerce, health and wellness, technology, real estate, fitness, beauty and retail, and many, many more. So Stephanie's diverse background enables her to partner with small to mid-sized businesses across the United States to align sales and marketing efforts that gets results. Wow, you go, girl. So, you know what's so interesting is today we're talking about branding and authenticity. When I started Feng Shui by Jen like 12 years ago, I don't think I was thinking about branding at all when I was putting my website or like business card. It was just you needed to have a website and maybe a logo. But today, it seems like branding is an intricate part of the image that you want to share with people. And so, from your experience, how would you describe what branding is?
From my experience and my point of view, when I think about branding, the first word that comes to mind is consistency. And it's really being able to kind of encompass everything that brand or that business could be, whether it's a personal brand or an organization. So, the look and feel, how you want that end user to feel or your audience to feel, the colors that you're using. Really, there's so much that goes into branding, from the words that you write on the page to even, your personality or the people that are speaking for your business on social channels, and everything in between. So it's a really broad term, but it really does get to the crux of having that cohesive and consistent message across all channels.
Absolutely. And I know that I reached out to you because I'm also in the process. I hate my website, by the way. And I just feel like my website was pieced together as my business continued to grow. And I was reaching out to you and I said, it's a little bit overwhelming when you're thinking about branding or rebranding, for example, that you taught, because there's a lot that really goes into what the feel and look you want, that is essentially a projection of who you are as a person today, especially if you're a small business owner, of like, who am I? And what kind of clients do I want to attract? And how do I really want to portray myself in the public, right? And so how do you work with small business owners that, are maybe thinking about either branding or rebranding? Like, how do you help guide them in terms of finding their voice and finding the image?
A key part of that for us in our onboarding process, whether we're working with a brand that's fresh, new to market, they haven't launched yet, and we're helping them put that messaging together kind of from the get-go, or if it's an organization who really, maybe their message no longer aligns with what they were doing before and they need to refresh it, we really start by asking a lot of questions. So that is literally, we have 3 different questionnaires that we send over, and really kind of a couple different Zoom calls and more interview style, getting to know all about not only their business, but the people behind the business too. And then really also that next step, because it's crucial and important whether it's your personal brand or a business brand to know who you are, but also really tuning into that audience too. Who is that end person that you want to be talking to? What do they do? How are they showing up online? Where do they hang out? What are their interests? And really trying to make sure that that branding that you're putting together is going to attract that person based on what message you're putting together.
Yeah, I've seen your questionnaire. And it's very interesting because I have a really good girlfriend in Florida, and she says every time I look at my website, I'm repelled by it because it's not who I am anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so the questionnaire is really, it's so self-probing in terms of really understanding who you are. And that's what we're kind of talking about, authentically aligning our brand and our business. And so there's a lot of work that goes into it. It's so fascinating to me. And I remember when you looked at my Instagram account, you said, oh, your theme is flirty and feminine. I was like, yeah, So because the messaging comes through. But I think the point of understanding who you're trying to target market, because we don't want to, we can't do everybody, right? And so it's really finding that, fine-tuning that type of a clientele that you want to attract is really important.
Absolutely.
So Stephanie, what is your process? Like, for example, if a small business owner kind of reached out to you and said, hey, I'm thinking about rebranding or whatever, like what is the process that you do in terms of kind of start to finish?
So we typically start to figure out kind of exactly where they are, if it's a full rebrand, or maybe if it's just a brand refresh, or if they're, it's really kind of more of that launch phase. So we figure out where exactly on the branding spectrum that business owner is, and then we put together a custom package based on what they're really looking for, because no 2 businesses are alike, just like no 2 humans are alike. Yeah. And really making sure that that is customized and appropriate for those business goals that the business owner is trying to reach. So we talk a lot about the goals. Of course, budget comes into play too, but goals really, and making sure that makes sense, not just saying, oh, you need to rebrand. When maybe sometimes business owners think that they need to rebrand when maybe there's other challenges that are going on that could be giving them that feeling instead. So,
and the rebranding really is not just about the website, but it's everything that they share with the public, right? So that's like business card, newsletter.
Absolutely. Also, even just the messaging and the content that the different that brand voice, and that across everything, whether that's website, email, your social media channels, really seeing, in a very intentional way, how that brand is showing up to the public facing, and really making sure that aligns with what that end goal is and what's authentic to the brand, what effectively communicates that, but then also, what's going to really reflect and resonate the best with their customers and their target audience too.
Yeah. So with COVID, how, you know, a lot of people, a lot of businesses are thinking of, you know, pivoting or making adjustments because now it's more of an online presence, right? You know, what are some of your tips to kind of help small business owner kind of maybe get a jump start on branding? We know why it's important, but maybe what are some of the things that they can do today to maybe start that process, you know, to help elevate their business?
For us, for branding especially, we always start with the business data. So that's one quick tip. You know, if a small business already has an Instagram account, taking a look at your insights and analytics, seeing what that's telling you as far as, you know, what that composition of your followers is. If a business owner, if they are already have a website, hopefully they're using Google Analytics, because that's a data resource that is just so above and beyond helpful, and it's free. So there are a lot of different data points you can get there, a lot of different interest areas that can help you get to know that what's resonating, what isn't, and even who that target audience is. Because a lot of times we work with businesses and they think they're attracting customer A, but they're really attracting customer D, and you know, the messaging isn't aligning. And so kind of that would be a first step, is taking a look at that data that you might already have access to, and asking yourself questions. You know, what is the business now? Maybe it's evolved. Any good business evolves over time and changes. Just like we as humans, it's part of the human experience and our journey to evolve and grow too. Our businesses do that as well, but a lot of times our messaging doesn't catch up or doesn't follow suit right away. So really taking time to reflect, and that is a very common piece across the board, that, you know, if we really just take some time and reflect on what our business is, you know, who it helps, kind of thinking about those mission and vision points, if those still really align with what is being offered, that's great. But oftentimes that isn't the case. And then reflecting there to see kind of what that looks like.
That is such a great tip. I don't even think about the data analytics, how important it is. This is so, yeah, I'm not like technology savvy or anything like that, but that is such an important point to really understand, am I really hitting my market here? Or maybe I'm not thinking about a different group that I should be thinking about. And we are constantly evolving as individuals, our desires and our needs and our values, you know, whether that's solidifying or the stronger convictions around our values that is very consistent. We evolve. And so as business owners, our businesses will evolve with us, regardless of what's happening, you know, in the external world. That is such an interesting, to me, I feel like there's so much heart to small businesses, you know, compared to corporations, because we are the person that show up, we are the ones that's performing and providing the services. And so, you know, like for example, for me, I know I need to do my rebranding, but it's like, holy cow, it's overwhelming, because you're not just, it's so important to work with someone like you in your firm, because that's what you do all day long, to kind of help guide and say, hey, let's focus on this. And did you think about that? Because like, I really do. When I look at my website, I just want to vomit, because I'm like, this is not who I am. This is not what I want, but it's out there. So, you know, a couple things, tell our audience a little bit about, you know, how to find you, what types of services are you offering right now, if they're thinking about this, and all that.
Sure. So our website is RielDeal Marketing. I love a good pun. So my last name is spelled R-I-E-L, like lion. And you can see it on the screen here. So that RielDealMarketing.com, that's a really great overview. I actually went through the rebrand process for the website specifically about a year and a half ago. But the thing with the website, it's a lot like a house. It's never really done. You always are kind of constantly evolving and changing.
Oh, that's a great way to describe that. Because
it's always how I think of it, and it really, it does. It feels like a labor of love sometimes.
A lot of people are so afraid, right, of launching the website, because there's like, it's not done yet, it's not complete yet, I don't have everything I want. But that is, I've never heard of that being described as like a house. It's still constantly evolving.
Absolutely. That's the way that we look at website projects here at on my team and with the clients that we work with. Because a lot of times people will go in, of course, a website is a big investment, but I think on that point specifically, you know, most times we see people want to make tweaks and changes every couple of years or so. And so kind of having that mindset and really just thinking of it as a constant evolution, just like your brand is, really can kind of help it make it less overwhelming too, because the website project is huge, but if you kind of take it piece by piece, it can be a lot more manageable. But so the website has a lot of great information. On all the socials, I am RielDeal, and then the company is RielDeal Marketing. So you can find us there. I'm a little bit of course, a branding nerd myself, so everything is branded. But then I think kind of to answer that question of what we're working on right now, we really kind of on a larger scale work on digital marketing and multi-channel campaigns from end to end. And so that can be from the very start of a project or coming in for an established brand that really just needs help along the way, and really everywhere in between. We focus a lot on, of course, websites and branding and brand refresh and how that touches all the digital marketing channels, whether that's your email marketing, your social media, your website or texting. And then the other piece that we really also look to incorporate for many of our clients is automation and those marketing automation touch points for customers. So really taking a look at that sales journey that your customer is going on and seeing how we can automate different pieces of the process. You know, whether it's if they fill out a form, they get an automatic email, and then they're entered into a 5 to 8 or longer week workflow process where they're receiving different marketing messaging throughout that time to help your brand stay top of mind. So we really kind of help businesses a lot with those different pieces too, whether that's through HubSpot or a tool like MailChimp, or a couple of other different automation tools that are available. So we touch a lot of different areas, but that consistency in branding is really that common thread for anything that we do. And so that's why it's helpful for us to have at least a pulse on those other pieces to help you and help our clients get the best results that they are possible.
And I mean, as you know, as a small business owner, you do wear multiple hats, right? And so I think it is so important for viewers to understand that, hey, there are actually firms and service offerings out there that are experts in this to work with, to support you in your journey so you don't feel so overwhelmed. And so thank you so much for sharing your expertise and your knowledge around this. When you were talking about, you know, data analytics and automation, I was like, oh my God, it's stuff I don't like, but you love it. So I was like, you can do it for me, you know? So, well, that's wonderful. Stephanie, in the spirit of the BaZi Gratitude series, I have to ask you, what are some of the things that you are grateful for at this moment besides your wedding?
I think the first thing that comes to mind always is health, especially this year. I have for a long time believed that our health is our greatest wealth and our greatest asset. So I'm so grateful for that. I'm also grateful that the wedding planning process is almost over. It has been a big challenge, but also very grateful for that celebration that's to come and to start that next chapter of my life as well. That'll be very, very exciting. And really just all the blessings and greatness. I'm so grateful for so many things. I do morning gratitudes every morning, and sometimes, you know, I have to cut it off at just 5. I'm like, okay, we got to stop and focus on these today. But this is actually as challenging as of a year as it's been a really great growth year for me personally as well. And I'm so grateful for that, and being able to embrace that and just roll with the chaos that's been around us this year.
Yeah. Well, I'm incredibly grateful that I got to meet you, you know, with No Women group. Probably all of our plans as a group, you know, were adjusted or, you know, canceled and things like that. But it's just amazing what humans can do to remain connected and to still put in the effort to stay in touch and to get to know each other. And that's really our story, you and I, is that we're like, okay, let's do a Zoom chat, you know, let's figure each other out. And then when we finally met, it was like, okay, cool. And so I'm very grateful for you. I'm so grateful I met you through No, and really grateful for all the wisdom that you share with us. I cannot wait to work with you and to refer people to you. And I'm so incredibly excited for your wedding. That's why she is doing her series today, because she's getting married.
Very soon. I know. It is very soon.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you so much, Stephanie. Everyone, you can check her out on RielDealMarketing.com, also Instagram, RielDeal and RielDeal Marketing. So she is very active on there. So if you have any questions, I encourage you to contact her, brainstorm with her. She's fantastic. She's got great energy and she'll really, really have your back. So thank you so much, Stephanie. I appreciate you. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was great to see you and to be a part of this today.
Yay. Bye-bye.
Bye.